Inflation is insane, the market has lost over 15%, crypto has lost over 75%, and talks of the coming recession have made you think that there just needs to be a safer place to be able to park that money and hopefully make a little bit of interest. But your bank account at 0.01% isn't very attractive, so you've come to the right place. Here are the top high-yield savings accounts for the rest of 2022 and leading into 2023. First on my list is one that has an annual percentage yield of over 2%. Right now, your bank probably has something like 0.01%, and if you're lucky, up to 0.05%. That means that if you stash $10,000 in your savings, you'll earn a whopping $1, or if you're lucky, $5. So with this first one on my list, this means that you'll be able to be earning 200 times more than the bank account that you currently have. This first one is Lending Club, and they offer 2.07% with no strings attached. But that's not all. You could earn up to 2.95% per year if you don't need the money anytime soon, and you do a certificate of deposit with them. Personally, I don't think that you should tie up this money for 3 years in order to get that higher interest rate, unless you have a very specific purchase coming up in exactly 3 years and you want to know exactly how much money you're going to have. Something like if you want to buy a house and earning 3% per year until then on the money that you have now might be a good idea, since we don't know how long this market drop is going to last. At Lending Club, there are no monthly fees. Only $100 is needed to open the account, and it's consistently a top choice for high-yield savings account options over the years. If you were to do your own research, which I definitely recommend on anything you do that has to do with personal finance or investing, but if you were to do your own research and look up the best high-yield savings accounts consistently on many lists, Lending Club is a top option. The next one on my list is one that I couldn't find on many lists that are out there, and it really doesn't make sense, because this one is crushing it. Now remember, I am an actual university professor, and I specialize in personal finance, and so I want to do this research so that you don't have to. And it's good that I'm doing this extra research and not just taking these lists as gold, because unfortunately, a lot of these companies pay to be on those lists. And so what I'm doing in this channel is going deeper than that so that you get the best information. But never just take my word or anyone else's word for anything. Do your own research. Let's go to number 2. Seriously, this one is one of my favorites, and a lot of my students actually like this one as well. So you get that Millennial Gen Z stamp on there. And the reason for this is because it's so user-friendly. Their app and their website is very easy to navigate. Huge pluses when you're talking about finances. This one is SoFi, and it has a 1.8% APY. With this one, you'll earn more in 1 week than you would in a whole year at a big bank savings account. With the high yield savings account at SoFi, there are no fees at all. No fees for overdraft, no fees for minimum balance, no monthly fees. I also like this as a platform for consolidating loans, something like student loans or credit card debts. They make it very easy, and there isn't a lot of hidden jargon. One of the biggest reasons that I like this as well is because of their website and the resources that they have available for you. You don't need to be a customer to use the resources either. They do a great job of educating and informing, which is pretty much the opposite of any other banking institution. This next one is another favorite of mine, and it's not on a lot of those lists like I was talking about before, which probably means that it's better than a lot of those that are on the list. It's just a secret. And it's a favorite of mine because of all the extras that you get with it. This one is Ally Bank. One of the things that I really like about Ally and their platform is that you use buckets to organize your money and visualize what you're saving for. So you can have things for emergencies or home or vacations, and you can put together a goal tracker with a target date so you can actually make this something that you can watch and actually get to. When you compare Ally to other big banks, obviously the annual percentage yield just absolutely crushes this. They offer so many more. They don't have a minimum opening deposit, and they don't have a monthly maintenance fee. The other amazing thing is that they show that they don't have a bunch of fees, but they also show the fees that they do have, and the fact that they're not hiding these types of fees and they're just showing you up front is very, very important, and it's something that I look for specifically in a financial institution. The reviews from actual customers on the website and even in real life, or IRL if I'm talking to my students, are just outstanding, and people can't get enough of this. People are raving about the customer service and all the amenities. While the APY is a little bit lower than some of the other ones, I think you have to take into consideration all the other things that you're getting with it, and long term, I think that this is a really good one. Now on to number 4, and real quick, after I tell you about number 4 and number 5, I'm gonna show you what I did with my money just recently. And I documented the journey over the last 100 days, and it was pretty interesting. Okay, so this next one was literally on all those lists, and when I continued to do further research, it definitely made it onto my list, obviously, as well. It has a super high APY, and it pays interest on the checking account, not just the savings account, which is pretty cool. This one is CIT, or CIT. I'm not really sure how you say it.
Are you saying pan or Pam?
But I know that it's good.
I think I might be able to help with the Pan-Pam dilemma.
And this one comes from First Citizen Bank with an APY of 1.9%. It also has no fees on most things. Side note, if your bank still has crazy fees in 2022, maybe it's time to move over to a different type of bank. Anyway, in this one, I specifically like it because it has an incentive system for those of you that are trying to really save and hit certain milestones. After you've saved $100 in the month, it gives you the highest rate possible, so you want to hit that savings each month. I love that because I know saving is just psychological, and so anything that helps motivate you to be able to do this saving is just good for you. And then the more that you save, the better off that you're going to be anyway. So it's just a win-win. One thing that I don't like about this one though is that there aren't any physical branches. But I'm guessing that the last time that you actually went inside of a bank was maybe 2015, or maybe some of you have never walked into an actual bank, which makes me feel kind of old. But for me personally, I do like human-to-human contact. And I know that sometimes when the only way that you can get a hold of somebody is over the phone, sometimes that's a hassle. But since this service is 100% remote, they do have a very solid digital presence. And so I'm sure all of those problems are all worked out. All right, so this last one on my list, and number 5 is not actually in last place on my list. I actually do like parts of this one better than some of the other 4. All right, so this one has an APY of 1.5%. And it's called Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Marcus consistently offers a competitive yield on its savings account. The account requires no minimum deposit to open. There's no monthly fees, and also it's an incredibly reputable brand. Now, just like some other financial institutions, there are pros and cons with going with a company like Goldman Sachs. So make sure and do your research into the company that you're going to be parking some money with, because you want to make sure that their ethics align with yours. But overall, as a high yield savings account, it has a very good APY at 1.5%, and I like the fact that they've been around forever in Goldman Sachs. Now, like I was saying before, I do have a large amount of my money in a high yield savings account because that's safe and it's earning more interest than in a regular savings account. I put about 6 months worth of my living expenses off to the side as an emergency. But over the last 100 trading days, I've invested $100 into the S&P 500 and documented it all for you to see what it's like to invest during a market downturn, during a market crash. So definitely watch that video now because the insights are mind-blowing, and it's going to show you the type of opportunity that we have right now that's once in a lifetime that might totally flip your world upside down and change your financials forever.